I think it froze over here. I'm just gonna do that. There we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Of course, today this thing wanted to freeze, but we're good. We're good. We're here, man. I know, and so this is our last live stream for the summer. Hey, man. Initially this was gonna be a fun bit, making everyone watch this shitty car movie with Reeves and Liz and the whole gang and shit. Because apparently Asylum makes animated movies. But I don't know, man. It's a lot of shit went down this past couple of days. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
we lost literally one of the best people in our lives. Doug Sakmann, which is I don't know, it's still fucked up. I still don't really believe it or
It
get it.
there is nothing that feels real about it, man. Like honestly, there's nothing that feels real about
Yeah,
it
it's
at all.
and because
I've
it's not
I've
like I
go
see him all the time either. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I'm just gonna see him in like a couple months or two, whatever. Like it doesn't feel like he's not here. It's just, ugh, ugh.
Yeah, it's a thing where it's like I don't know, like it's so it's so immense and it's so wrong. Like that's
Yeah,
the thing. It's like you almost want to be like anybody else could go. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like anybody else.
He wasn't old, man. What, 44 years old, dude?
43.
Yeah,
43. Getting yeah, and I mean also a his birthday was coming up. So,
yeah.
do you know what I'll
What?
tell you what I remember. I remember on Shitstorm 6 years ago, right?
6 years.
Yep. We're coming up on the time that I was moving up there, and it was like my second or third night. We had like a little birthday party for Doug at the shit house. Brought in some cake and candles and the whole nine. Yeah,
Yeah, where was
that
I?
was
I don't
really
even
good.
remember that. I must have
Uh,
fucked off. I usually fucked off because when I was done, I was getting out of that shit house. If I hung
yeah,
out there any
it
longer than I was supposed to, then I'm doing way more work than I want to do.
this had to have been around like maybe 8 o'clock, eight
Yeah,
nine o'clock, something like
I
that.
had to drive people home. I was fucking off.
Yeah, you were done for the day. Done for the day. That is key though to being successful on a trauma set is having your own car
Yeah,
and being the person who drives people home.
yeah. Honestly, amazing. Like the one day that we pulled, we probably worked 20 hours. The whole act, which was literally the shit day, which was also in turn a shit day. Um, I
Yeah.
remember I got to leave earlier than everyone at nice at 6 a.m. instead of 11 a.m. like everybody else because I had to drive people home.
So and same here. I was one of the few that left then, but my turn that night, they talk industry terms. My turn that night was less than 3.5 hours.
I think it's same because I remember. So like I was expecting normal call time, right? Like I think it was supposed to be 11 initially, or no,
Yeah.
like I remember them telling me that the crew's coming in later, we're gonna do something later. So I didn't wake up initially at 11. Then I wake up with just a barrage of messages of just like, where the fuck are you? What the fuck? We're still here at the club at like 11 a.m. And I was like, shit, fuck, I gotta boogie.
Got to get up and go and pick them. So and part of that was, I would say part of all of that cleanup was quote unquote because of Doug Sackman. Uh,
Yeah,
Necessary for the film, but I mean, he'd rigged up the pipe, the hoses, the fire hose, and the pump, and you run
yeah.
it up through the pipe, you clamp it off, and
And I
you
remember him
pump a bunch of
recycling it. He
shit.
was like, "We're gonna recycle all the shit to reuse it," and figured out the whatever like fucking irrigation system he figured out of shit to like funnel it back into the pipes and back into the actors.
And some of that recycling mechanism too was also people with 5-gallon buckets. because, because I was running the shit pump that night. All I had to do was just plug and unplug the fucking the pump in the water. On action, you plug in the pump, it starts to shit. Cut, you pull the plug. It was
Yeah.
I shat on everybody that night, and it felt so good. It was like very, very cathartic, very, very much like a Zen moment that I kind of needed, and it helped. It helped a lot.
Yeah,
But
I
but yeah,
remember my first time meeting Doug actually on Shitstorm because I just heard stories, the legend that is Doug Sakmann, that people have talked about, and I was like, man, I don't know who this dude is. He just sounds crazy. I don't know what it's gonna be like. Like I just thought it was just gonna be just. I mean, it was insane, but I thought it was gonna be just really fucking crazy and nonsensical. But the dude came on immediately and like changed the whole office. We set up all these bins everywhere. I was like, damn, I just wasn't expecting this dude who can work so hard immediately and just start busting ass. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a party like immediately, and it was like, here's a dude who was just ready to go, pulled in his bus, set up all the bins, was like, this is what we need to do to get ready to set up this office right. And I was like, wow, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And like, totally changed my perspective on working with.
yeah. So and that's the thing is it's like you know it, you hear story, you hear whatever, and like, but somebody put it this week. It's like he came in and worked extremely hard
Yeah.
so that he could get to the party.
Yeah.
Do
I
you see what I
remember
mean?
even like the times I did pop into the shit house when I didn't have to be there and Doug would pass me a joint. I was like, oh, everyone's smoking. Nice. Let's go smoke a joint. No one's working. And then he'd pass me a joint and be like, all right, let's go do this, this, and this. And I was like, damn, I just got roped into all this and now I'm high.
Uh-huh. That's the thing. Here you go. We can have a little of this, but we have to go do 27 things.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Um it's funny because he did the same thing when he came down to help us on Where Deer.
Yeah.
Like he exploded the office in the best way. Like it's like we went out and he had two sets of hands with him. And by the time we get back, all the desks are pushed into the corners, right? All the
Yeah.
desks are pushed into the corners. The table is organized. All the stuff's out. Like totes are under everything. And there's this wide open space where we could do like some effects tests and like the makeup and stuff, right? Just right in the center of it. It was a small little room. Like
And I
you
remember
just
he
knocked it out.
came in a really small fucking car too and fit a bunch of shit into it.
It's I don't know. I mean, all that is so silly because you look at like the rest of. I mean, that's one aspect. I don't mean it's silly, but like it's it is though because when you look at like the bigger thing, the bigger picture, it's one community, it's one way. So that's his work ethic, unmatchable,
Yeah,
unmatchable.
unmatchable, man. I've never seen someone work so hard. Like
But
ever. It's insane.
the other aspect is like just even like I guess sort of like the personal touches to everything,
Yeah.
Knew everybody. Everybody loved him. He fucking I don't know. You come into a room, knock it out, and
He always made time to talk and hang. Even
yeah,
when if he was working. Like I mean even Where Deer, me and him just hung out a bit and talked and hang. Talking about some because that's when that now I don't it's like kind of a less of brag because the new toxic people have seen it now. But then it was like I was still kind of bragging about it and being able to like I remember my first thought was like, yeah, I get to brag to Doug Sakmann that I got to see it. You know what I mean?
I've seen the new one. I've seen it.
And he's the only person that I've said anything to about it. So we had like
Oh,
mm,
oh, I thought you had an NDA. You just
I did.
disclosed
Well, now it's like 2
that
years. The NDA doesn't matter anymore now. So.
that you broke your NDA. It mattered then.
Hey, no one found right. Didn't get out. Just saying.
I'm I'm calling legendary tonight. Um, but no, so there's that, but then there's all these other groups, all these other traumas, like literally like one small group.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Van Goria post about this. I've seen the Joe Bob groups post about this. I've just seen people I've never even heard of sharing photos.
Well, there's the Mummers parade.
Mummers, yeah.
There's all the Mummers guys and gals, and everybody in between. All of them. It's bananas, like how far reaching, like unsolved.
Yeah.
Like everywhere. He was everywhere, everywhere.
Now, you've known him for,
Um,
you said 25 years, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
wild, dude. I don't think
He
I know anybody besides like my parents that long. Not even my own
so
brother.
so I he was one of the first people I met when I got to the office. And over the years, I've convinced myself that he was sending Lloyd's emails at the time. Uh, I've convinced myself of it. Um, because the note that I got back when I first emailed Trauma, it felt more like, I don't know, it read more like a Doug Sakmann thing the more I got to know him.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. Anyway, like, yeah, I mean, I had a lot of good times with Doug in the city. Um, and we were young. Like, he was like 19. I was 20 that year. Like, we were young there.
Yeah,
And
babies.
I don't know, so much cool stuff in the office. We did Edge TV. We did the Terra Firma R-rated shoots. Went back and did that for
Wait, can you explain
Blockbuster.
that again?
So Blockbuster didn't like a lot of scenes in Terra Firma.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
they came up
Blockbuster,
with
I
the idea
know, doesn't like trauma. I mean, that's always been, I know that story and that thing.
in general,
Yeah.
right? Like, so, but we're still trying to get in there because, home video is still big. It's like 98, 99, and they won't take it. So summer of 2000, they figured it out. They're like, okay, well, if you recut it and you add in, or you take out these scenes, and one of them famously, like the one I remember the most, uh, was when that guy's banging out Christine in the bathroom
Yeah. With Lloyd
while
peeing
while
everywhere.
Larry Benjamin is peeing in there, and he just starts pissing all over the room, and he's pissing on them, and it's like the fact that they're having sex and he's pissing on it. It's not a blockbustery thing. So uh, we reshot that, and Lloyd's throwing frozen peas at Yaniv, and he's just chucking these fucking frozen peas at him.
Was this
Frozen
on a
peas,
green
frozen peas.
screen or like,
No, it was a nice big black background at the time. Yeah, not green screen, black
but was it
background. They
like,
weren't.
did it just cut to that footage or is that footage put on top of?
No, it cuts straight to that footage. It's just Lloyd in his bow tie in a black background, throwing handfuls of frozen peas at Yaniv, right? And so Doug was running camera, I was doing the boom during
Wow.
that. And fucking Lloyd's he's going, "This is R-rated peeing. This is how you pee, R-rated peeing." It's like, look at me, I'm peeing on Yaniv. And like he's just fucking throwing handfuls of peas at him. It was ridiculous. Um and it's like I I don't know. It's funny because I've reconnected with a couple of people from
Oh,
that time
that's great.
that I hadn't talked to in a very, very, like, very long time. And
Yeah.
it's sad. It's sad, the circumstances, but if anything can
Yeah.
bring.
I mean, that's always the worst, best thing that happens when something like this goes down. It like also always brings people together, even though it's a shitty. That's not how everyone wanted to be brought together. but at least that's the thing you can take away from this horrible tragedy.
And at the end of the day, I think what better way for like the world's most sociable human
Yeah,
being to be remembered? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
he was. I
He
mean,
was.
that dude could literally walk into anywhere and get in. Doesn't like, or then get kicked out, but he can get in, anywhere.
But there's a lot of charm there. He
Yeah.
knows everybody. He's good with everybody. And then yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. It really kind of I don't know. I got very well introspective about it too, and it was like I don't know anybody. I haven't been anywhere. I'm not involved in anything. When I look at that, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's like I should be doing so much more.
Man,
It's
we shot what Kabuki Man now too. What 6 years ago? Kabuki Man Returns.
almost it'd be 5.5.
Yeah, that was a fun
Five and a
time,
half.
man. That was the first time I actually went anywhere. I think to film anything. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure that was like the first time, and I remember it must have been during Shitstorm because we were at the old Soho Playhouse that we used to go hang out and screen some stuff there back in the day. And I remember Doug talking about it. He's like, we're going to do Kabuki Man Returns. I was like, dude, I'm down. Whatever it is. Like, if I'm
You
going to do
got it.
anything post Shitstorm, it's going to be Kabuki Man Returns.
Yeah.
And I remember
Yeah.
all of us, like, living in his house in Philly, all sleeping and just snoring and farting in his living room.
I mean, I remember you guys waking me up because I wouldn't wake up. Like alarms had gone off, everybody gotten ready. You kept screaming at me, and then like I felt like four dudes' hands all over me, just shaking me, and I was like, "What?" Yeah.
That was like,
And then I just got up. I got up and I threw my shoes on, and we left.
yeah.
Like there was nothing else to do. I just got up, threw my shoes on, and figured it out.
That was 3 days, right? Or was it more?
Yeah.
It was because it felt
I
like a whirlwind, man. We like got there, worked, and left. Like it was like nonstop, like a fucking wheel.
I loved that though. I thought that was great. I did. I really thought that was great. Um
You guys built that
no-
awesome homeless was it village?
yeah, in like no time.
Yeah.
And we had no time to do it.
I remember the
And it's
dusty
all
ass fucking basement too. I was just like smoking inside this dusty basement of a church that probably has asbestos in it.
we rigged up that shopping cart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
All the
And
lights,
then
right?
what?
Did you have like lights around it and shit?
We wired lights all through the bottom of it, and then was it Mark came up with a baby doll and
Oh
threw the
yeah.
lights in the baby doll, painted that gold and the whole
Yeah.
nine, and like that was like the coup de grace, the
Yeah.
an amazing centerpiece. You know what I'm saying?
I remember
Like
being too like the first time seeing any like stunts kind of stuff. Like we had a blank, like full blanks that this guy shot off, which was sick. And I remember being so mad because it was fucking freezing out there. I remember it was like 30 degrees or something dumb. Like it was crazy. And Doug was like, "You have to get the sound of this blank." And I was like, "Doug, it's not gonna work. Like it's just gonna blow out, and it's just not gonna work." He's like, "No, no, we need it. Reference, it's fine. Just get it. Just do it." And I was like, "All right, fucking, after like 2 hours, whatever, standing outside in the freezing cold." Now I watch back in the actual teaser. It's not even there.
that's what sound does. That's what sound does. Um, that that whole shoot was. You're right. Like a whirlwind is the best way to put it. That was a good time.
You had fire flamethrowers. I remember like the dude shooting fire, and I was booming it, and the fire got like real close to my boom. I'm like, oh, I really have to back up from this. I did not realize how far that shit was gonna fucking shoot out like that. That was insane. So cool.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like there's the guy on the hooks, or not the hooks, but the, you know what I'm talking about, Kabuki Man himself, where they had him kind of like fly in, like the
Oh
big
yeah,
kicks and the big jumps and
they had the
stuff.
stunt
Yeah,
double flying around everywhere.
it was awesome. It was
Yeah.
awesome. But I don't know, man. Like it's so tough. It's been like really like a hard few days.
No,
Like
it's been
like
terrible.
I've been going through so many just like ups and downs.
Yeah,
Like it
like 1 minute it feels like it's not real, and then you start seeing more stuff, and you're like, oh fuck, and then yeah, it just gets worse.
I made a mistake, man. And it's not a mistake, but you know what I mean? Like I kept going like all day yesterday and just looking and looking and looking. And then
Yeah,
I don't know. I had some good times with it. I had some decent laughs. Like I say, it reconnected me with a couple of people, and you know, and I think that's the thing is like again, as sad as it is, you gotta. I think it's a matter of respect.
yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? You feel your feels, but then you just remember good stuff,
yeah,
and you got
exactly.
to do that
He
as
brought too
quick as
much
possible.
joy into so all of our lives. To
Yeah, and like as sad as you are, as sad as you're gonna be, like there's mourning, there's all of that. Like I broke down Thursday morning pretty bad. Like Jen went to work, and then I'm on the couch in a ball. It was rough. And then again the whole day yesterday, it just somehow it kept getting better and better. And that's I don't know. I don't know. It's really cool to see. Like my brain switched it over to like, nah, nah, nah. This is,
yeah,
you know,
no, yeah,
like does that make sense?
I get you, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I have all of us here, man, for you. You know, I've been calling you, Derek, all the trauma teams. I mean, just talking to everyone, and just to talk. I try to, that's why I keep sending you guys funny drawings and
Yeah,
memes.
all sorts of fun drawings
Actually,
with
speaking,
Photoshop on them.
so it wasn't my best work, but I think it still did the job.
Yeah, that kind of won my day. Like that was very good.
Well, speaking of
Uh,
drawings too, I want to show you something. I'm gonna send photos right here in this chat real quick. So back when I was still doing underpowered shit, and this was like right after we shot Kabuki Man, I couldn't figure out what I wanted my main character guy to look like. His name was Rip. He was kind of downtrodden. He was like little dirty and shit. He was like this, not sleazy, but like dirty fucking like PI whatever who ends up having to save the world or whatever. And
right.
I sent the artist this photo of Doug, right? I'm going to show it here. And I'm going to pull it up on YouTube in a sec. And then this is the character. And I don't know. Now I look at it, I'm just like, damn, man, this is like I just literally just took Doug and made
Like
him this like ad. And I remember
nailed
I
it.
told him that too, and he was down. Like he did not care in the slightest. I was like, is it cool if I basically steal your likeness? Like in the nicest way. I don't know, the best way to put it. And he was all for it, and
Yeah,
did not care at all. And
I'm sure he thought it was an honor.
yeah, I mean, because
Do
like
you
when
know
I
what I mean?
saw him in that regular outfit, I was like, this is the superhero that I want to put out to the world. You know, I
I'm
gotta.
I'm sure he saw that as an honor, James. Like honest to God, that's hysterical. But yeah, I mean, it is desperately accurate. Like desperately accurate. Looks so good.
Yeah, it's so funny to me now when I look at it because he even got like the hairline right. It's just so
I
good.
love it. But but yeah, man, I don't know. He was one of the first faces, or the first face, one of them that you met at Trauma. He was
Yeah,
one of the ones I met at Trauma. Like he's a fixture. Yeah.
fixture. I mean, I don't think anyone has had the 10-year at Trauma.
No.
Anybody.
Not with that level, like that level of consistency, that level of continuing to come back. Like no, nobody.
Nah, he was.
It's crazy.
Nah, it's totally crazy. And man,
Yeah.
but he's definitely a great friend. Good to
Yeah,
all of
no,
us,
man.
dude. You know,
And like took care of people, took care of animals. Never met a stray he
yeah.
didn't like. You know.
I mean, Bill, great dog.
Oh. But
I remember having a
nah,
bunch
I
of
miss
cats
him.
too.
Yes, all the cats. How? What are you talking about? And then he just took in more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. It's so fucking tough. It is. It's crazy. But no, I don't know, man. It's sad.
Well, if
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
You could say something like this packs a lot of its own baggage, right? Its own type of cargo.
honestly, I was not expecting that.
No, look, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna keep talking. I know we're gonna keep talking Doug throughout this, but at
Yeah.
the same time, you in
Uh,
like it panning out to be very heavy. You made me watch something so incredibly terrible.
it was
Do you
supposed to
see what
be a
I'm saying?
bit. It wanted it to be a funny bit, and now it just made everyone watch this shitty car cartoon for no reason. Like when Reeves came over the other day, we're talking about everything, and then the top of all of it, I was like, "Man, I'm sorry I made you watch this shitty car movie for no reason." Now,
It is. It is wild, James, how bad this is. And I think we should tell folks. Usually, we record on Wednesday night, and that is when we kind of heard the news.
yeah, so that wasn't
And
gonna happen.
I told James, I was like, I can't. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna talk about a terrible
no
car
questions
cartoon.
asked. No,
Nope.
yeah,
No, we're not doing this this evening. And we worked our network. We talked to each other, and it was time much better spent.
yeah.
Unlike the hour and a half
I know.
plus.
So I thought this movie also was a lot shorter. Didn't realize it was also an hour and a half, which is hilarious. Yeah, it's awful.
Like, okay, so I have a bit of a theory because, so again, I started this. Can I tell you?
Did you
Like,
finish it?
yeah, I finished it. You damn Skippy, I did. But I started this on Wednesday afternoon. My Tuesday into Wednesday was very tough on Tuesday because I was up until 4:30 in the morning. I'd pounded a buttload of coffee, like a buttload of coffee all night long. I had to finish up some lists and stuff and whatever. And I was getting them together. Dude, I got like 3 hours of sleep, and then I start getting texts from Chili Beans. And I was like, okay, all right. And I was very grumpy with him. I was not a happy boy because I was fucking sleep deprived and
Yeah, yeah.
angry. And then we had a meeting coming up in like 3.5 hours. So I texted with him, got mad, made 2 phone calls, was very pleasant. And then I went back and I tried to go back to sleep. Anyway, I then get maybe an hour and a half of like some on again, off again at fucking like 9 to 10:30. 10:30, I'm up. I'm setting up the computer for the meeting. Go through that. Next thing I know, I'm like, well, I'll find a nap somewhere. My phone starts ringing. I just keep working through it. And I tell Jen, I was like, I have to get some rest at some point. I still have to watch the show for tonight. I still have all of this we're going to record. I need to get a nap. I lay down to watch this and then likely fall asleep during it. And then, we start getting other phone calls for the night, and it was like, in a way, and I don't want to be dark. I
Yeah.
don't want to be dark, but I feel like that um, sort of saved me from this for a while, because today, when I watched
You
through
watched
this,
it
James,
today.
I
Wow.
I
Yeah. I couldn't watch it today, man. That's crazy.
I was sitting there, and so I started it, and I had to do some laundromat stuff, a couple other things today. So, and the twerker was there when I showed up.
Nice. There's a clip on our YouTube. Go watch it. Find out who the laundromat taker is.
But anyway, like I, so I took care of my stuff there. I come back, telling Jen, I'm like, you know what? I got just enough time. I'm gonna put this on, and she's like, great. Maybe I'll watch a little bit of it with you while I'm making dinner. And then the next thing I know, she's sitting beside me, and she's like, this is fucking terrible. And she gets out her phone and starts looking up facts about this movie, and it's I don't know where to start with it. Like,
There's
I'll
facts. I assumed it was just Asylum was like, we got some money. We need to reach a kid's audience, but in the cheapest, shittiest way we can.
so and basically she just looked up the director, and he makes movies. And then she looked up the it's 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. At one point near the end of the movie, she says to me, she goes, I couldn't imagine being the parent of a child whose favorite movie is CarGO.
I know, it's somehow worse than Cars. Like,
Yeah,
how do you get worse than Cars? CarGo.
So I have way too much to say. Like, so I was telling her who some of the voices were. I was like, oh, it's Jay Mewes, Haley Joel Osment, Melissa Joan
I
Hart,
think Ed
and
Asner's in it too.
Ed Asner, and she goes, well, that makes sense. And then just like the most dismissive, well, that makes sense. Of course.
And then
they
you
would
look at
be.
the date and said 2017. You're like, oh, that makes more sense.
She asked me, this is what started the thing. She goes, what year was this made? And I would go, well, take a guess. I go, take a guess. And she goes, well, judging how bad the animation is, I would say 2006. And I was like, 2017. 2017.
I know, but this voice cast, if it was like, the late 90s or early 2000s, this would have been a huge cast to have.
Massive. This would be a multi-million-dollar movie in a heartbeat, right? So, okay, to start off with, as we get introduced to the town of CarGO, because it's CarGO, North Dakota.
Also, I hate the name. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so you're trying to do a pun on the word cargo, but then why not just also spell it as two words like cargo, and then you just spell it as one word, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what is that name?
So the pun is actually twofold, right? There's cargo like baggage. There's cargo like cargo fast,
Yeah.
And then there's cargo, which is like Fargo. That's why the town is named CarGO.
That makes now that makes more sense to me, actually. I see what
Yeah.
they're going for. It's still lame.
No, very, very. And there were so many like car puns throughout the movie.
I mean, the only good one is the Weird Al bus poster in the background in the kids' room.
I like that.
Also, there was a Quick Stop reference. Did you see the Quick Stop reference?
Where at?
It's like well, literally because they repeat the same backgrounds like over and over again while they're racing. So it's the same sign that goes back and forth. It's not quick stop. It's like the same quick stop sign, but it's like quick something else car related, whatever it is.
Nice.
But I just remember them
Nice.
repeating it like 6 times during one race, and I was like, "Where are you guys going? You just going in circles?"
I mean, likely.
Yeah.
Uh, I did not expect this to be a musical.
Neither did I. I mean, it's kind of
I
barely a musical, but still the musical.
It's very like this is so musical. It's ridiculous. Dude, okay. When it starts, it's like, "Oh, there's something that hits you." And I think they spent all their money at the beginning and then at the end.
Yeah.
Because somehow this movie starts off and you're watching it and I was like, this isn't so bad for
Yeah.
the Asylum.
Yeah.
It felt pretty okay. Like oh. And then it's maybe 20 minutes into it, all of a sudden there's this weird lag in the animation.
Yeah, the voices don't match up either.
It gets so odd. But one thing they never get right are the tires. Like tires go like this together, right? Did you notice they were
Yeah.
going like in
And
towards each other?
Yeah,
Or times they just didn't go
yeah. Well,
at all.
if I'm going to say anything nice, the only thing I did notice was actually the car models themselves. Like the way they're modeled really actually isn't that bad. Like the way they stretch and move, there's actually reflections in a lot of it where you can like see like the windshield through the hood, or if they're next to each other, you can see, reflections of another car. Like there's like weirdly they put a lot of effort in. They probably got like one person who was like, "This is your job," and he put all this nice effort in, and then other people did all the other garbage, you know.
So it's when they're in because you notice it early on. It's when they're in math class or whatever, or they're in school, and you really see a lot of that because they want to show off the curves of the car and the straight like tube lighting, the fluorescent tubes, and the way the light bends is pretty good.
Yeah.
Hashtag not gonna lie, pretty good.
But yeah, so it's like they try on like the weirdest things and then just give up on everything else.
And then they give up on what they were trying on.
Yeah.
Like when okay, so basically the whole story is about a kid who has to go to what is it? Oh God, Clunker Island.
Clunker
Right?
Island. Yeah, because his dad gets into an accident or whatever.
Right, and his whole thing is he wants to get totaled so he can go. They cook up a method to try and get him to Clunker
So
Island
dumb.
so he can save his dad. And he fucking like he gets into some kind of like demolition derby or something,
Yeah, and he keeps
or a
winning.
race.
They're like he's like, I gotta get destroyed, and then like the plot is, oh, I keep accidentally winning. Oh man, how terrible is this? I just keep forgetting and just winning everything. like
My
what the-
bad. I don't mean to be a winner. I don't. Leroy. Oh God, sorry. He's humping, and I can't let him hump.
We're on YouTube. There's no humping on YouTube.
There's no humping on YouTube, Leroy. Sorry. But he just wouldn't stop, and I kept pushing him off. I don't mean to yell.
This is a PG show. We're talking about CarGO here. This is a PG movie.
So, and yeah, also stupid premise. Oops, I accidentally am too good at this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's so
he
dumb.
He gets picked up though by the cops for street racing, right? Like illegal street racing.
You know what? That's the one review that Reeves gave me when he was texting me. He was like, "This movie sucks. At least the cop car has a mustache."
So so he gets picked up and they get taken to juvie,
Which is
which
just a prison.
but man, like how wild is this movie anyway that's what they're doing?
Yeah. Let's just go to
Do you know
throw
what I
him in
mean?
prison.
We're gonna go to prison. We're gonna go to fucking prison. And like
For not having a pink slip,
uh
which is also so weird. That feels like very fascist.
it man, this movie in 2017 made some real ass choices. Like made some real ass choices. It's I I I just can't get my head around. And he shows up in prison, and then his buddy is what causing a distraction while he digs a Shaw Crank redemption style
Yeah.
hole in the wall. He calls it Shaw Crank, right?
Yeah, something like that.
And he's doing the whole like hole behind the poster, and this movie rips on so many things. So it's the car puns,
Somehow the
Shawshank
worst.
Redemption.
Yeah, there's even fuck, there's the mafia dude they put a car in his name, and I'm forgetting it right now.
The Godfather,
Yeah.
Don Corleone.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worst type of puns ever.
Yeah.
Don Corleone. And did you catch the Little Mermaid rip?
No, which one was I don't remember that.
I want to be where the autos are.
Fucking goddamn.
Like, do you know what I mean, dude? It's like they rip so hard on so many things. It's not even fun. Mad Max, there's a whole Thunderdome.
No, there is.
sequence,
Yeah,
you know
the whole finale is just Mad Max, really.
It really is, and it's I. So anyway, this movie it blows my mind. They go to the fucking they get to Carbuncle Island because they escape prison. So or Carbuncle, Clunker Island. Sorry, Carbuncle. That's the guy's bumper sticker, right?
Yeah.
Like this is fresh on my head with like a mountain
I watched
of
this like
hatred.
2 days ago and just fought my way through it. And that was before I found out everything, and I was still miserable watching.
So what ends up happening though is like they go over to the they get there after their prison break. They have to take the ferry over, and the ferryman's like, nobody goes to Clunker Island and never comes back. And he's the spooky Grim Reaper type Styx,
Yeah.
the guy who leads you
Yeah.
across the river, Styx or whatever. And anyway, they get there, and then they have to fight the inhabitants that are like the Mad Max people. They sing a very weird song at one point in it, and it's the only part that I remember because no, sorry, it's from the finale. Strike that. I'll save it for a few. It's the only song lyrics I remember, and it is from the finale, the "I'm Not Afraid of You" song, or "He's Not Afraid of You."
And there's also the weird fucking card tree thing, too.
Oh, the something of the spirit of the woods. Yeah. Before they get there, they have to do three things. Now that's a bit I actually thought was funny
But that should have just been the plot. Like, why not just do that for the movie? You know, rather than I have to go to prison and then I gotta go do a derby and then keep winning and do like 3 more races.
But when the tree goes, you have to do 3 things to get there, or no, it's when they're in prison.
Yeah, it's like Jason Mewes tells them, or someone tells them.
You only have to do 3 things. That's how you know it's easy, or whatever he says. And I loved that bit because I think that's very meta. I think that's very funny, and I thought it was a great. That was my favorite like joke bit in the movie. But you know what? You could have showed me that 30 seconds, and I would have been like, "This is the greatest film ever made."
Until
anything outside of it can suck a dick.
Oh my god! I mean, I remember like the backgrounds would like jolt, like the car animations, like it would just skip. You know, like it would just like fucking be all janky. I remember when they like were slipping on like oil. It was like they just like did some keyframe rotations where they just spun the car around in a circle and then just brought it back straight. Like it was just like not slippery sliding like in the slightest.
So, yeah, there's so much of that where there's like when he starts ramming the other people into the walls, but he's like spinning up over them
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, there's so much of that that is. It almost looks like it's just like, oh, well, we ran out of track. Let's make him fly for a
Yeah.
second, and there's no motion to show driving. There's no
No.
anything. It's like
It's
it's
just
just
like
gliding.
it's just keyframe from here, point A, point B, enter. And it just goes.
So I'm again, like I said before, I'm watching with Jen, and it, she brought up the background. She's like, and it's near the end where they're all like outside, but it's very true for all of the backgrounds. She was like, I hear birds, but I don't see any birds. She's like, it's like they forgot to put in the
They're like the
background.
sound's good
She,
enough, it's in nature. You'll just hear birds. No one ever sees any
sh
birds.
Nobody ever sees them. But she was like, where is that? And where are the other signs of life here? There's nothing on these roads. There's no
Yeah,
anything.
it's like the
It's
most
just
bland backgrounds I've ever seen. Like it almost looks like there's like one shot where in the city where it almost looks like it's unfinished. Like it looks like I'm watching a Hollywood movie, like pre CGI backgrounds, where it's just like a half fake set and then a blue screen. Where it doesn't even look like a real place.
when one of them, and I think it's the princess in on the island. I think it's when she's singing her song, she's talking about having a garage of her own. And it's like on the left hand side is what's supposed to be a toolbox. In the center is like one tire. And then on the other side is like an air pump or something. And you're like, this is the saddest garage ever. There's no posters on the wall. There's no,
Nothing.
it's just
All the budget went to
blue.
the Weird Al poster.
It's all yeah, entirely. But it's just like those three items and that's it. But the Weird Al poster shows up pretty early, right?
Yeah.
So again, to my theory, they pumped in a little bit of money in the beginning to get you kind of hooked in, to get you curious. And I know I've said it a billion times, but when they get to that island is when it gets really bad because everything goes dark at that point.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
weird.
like they cheat the need to be more detailed because either it's supposed to be night or it's supposed to be this dark land or whatever, but it just looks like blocks of
Also,
blue
I
and
was thinking
purple.
too, like, how fucked up is this car society that it's like, oh, you got injured or you're too fucked up. It's like putting down a horse. Like, oh, you're bad. All right, you're going to Clunker Island where these cannibal car things are just gonna just rip you apart, and that's how you end your life. And that's what happens when you're dying. You just go to Clunker Island to just get ripped apart.
And you get cannibalized.
Yeah,
Bro, what was that one movie? Oh fuck. The one where Midsummer, where the
yeah.
old people get to go and they jump off the
The
cliff or
cliffs.
whatever.
Yeah, that's this. That's literally this.
It's amazing. Oh, your leg's bad. Whatever. Go up top. You'll be our sacrifice next year. Bye bye.
Like if this was like more of like this rated R like car movie, like making fun of cars and he's got to save his dad, whatever, and he has to rebuild his dad, that could be fun. But the fact that it's like
That
this like super dark story of these cannibals trying to eat his dad and he has to go to this island and rebuild him is just like what the fuck is this? How is this
it
made
it,
for children
it
or
but
anybody?
it does, and like I told Jen and it's like it progressively got worse. Like the animation just kept getting worse. Everything just kept getting worse. The dialogue got worse. The songs got worse. everything was so bad. And then by the time you do get to the princess who's talking weird, she's just mixing up like prepositions and fucking like time and
Yeah.
space and for no reason. And it's like she seems to go in and out of all that shit. If she had said it naturally, all the stuff about space and time, it still would have been more space and timey, and that would have been good. All the what's and whys are literally just somebody thought they were funny and nobody told them it's just confusing.
That's such a good point.
It was dumb. It was dumb. That character still could have been, fun for this and talked fucking normally. Like I hated it. I hated it.
So yeah, I guess it's safe to say we can give it the old Woodrow Johnson.
Me.
Nope. Oh, we gotta find it. There it is.
Me.
Yeah, this movie
But
sucks.
it sucked. And then the ending of it though, it's like they put a little bit more money into the ending of it too, right? Like just a touch.
Which is such a shitty producer thing. I mean, and on paper it sounds smart, but it's such a like we're Asylum. We make these cheap movies. Let's just put everything in the beginning and end. Nobody gives a fuck about the middle of the movie.
It's and it's a trick on the eye and a trick on the brain is what it is what it tries to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It starts strong, it ends strong. Your brain's going to remember the first thing and the last thing you saw of it. You'll remember the parts in the middle, but for me, it's that whole journey just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, it's the worst hero journey I've ever witnessed or watched, probably ever.
And everything, all to get a girlfriend. It also doesn't pass like the Breckenmeyer test. It doesn't pass that at all.
Myers.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where
No, I know exactly. Yeah, I mean, her whole character is just into him, and she's like, "I'm just gonna help you because I'm in love with you for some reason."
Dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Dumbest thing I've ever seen.
And
that's not my girlfriend. And he's not my boyfriend.
I really wanted Reeves. I made Reeves watch it because he made me watch Furby Island. So this was my payback. And unfortunately, he's not on the show.
And to not even get to say a word about it. Well, you know what he'll need to do. And we'll read it when we get back in September, James.
Oh, yeah.
Reeves has months to write us a diatribe as to why he does not.
Send us the review.
His feelings on CarGO.
Oh, actually, you know what? I wonder if I can... What if I just call him right now?
Oh, ooh la la.
Let me pull it up. Let me see if he'll answer. Live on air. This is improv phone call
As
right
we
now.
get, this is going to be great.
See if he'll do it. There he is. Reeves Elliott. See if he answers.
Well, let's see what he has to say for himself.
He was in the chat earlier. I'll hear music.
Hey, what up? I'm at band practice. What's up?
Oh, can you give us your quick review of CarGO?
Absolute piece of shit.
I
don't know why you guys made me watch it.
Because you made us watch Furby Island.
Great movie. Absolute different class of film. Furby Island has an insidious understory going on. CarGO, not at all. Phoned in from fucking 10,000 miles away.
I mean, it's pretty insidious to just send your old dead relatives to Clunker Island for them to get mutilated.
Yeah. It was kind of like the Orpheus story, but bad.
That's a way to put it. That should be on the DVD cover.
Orpheus, but worse.
Yeah.
Like Cars and the Orpheus myth, but worse on both accounts. Starring Melissa Joan Hart.
Well, and don't forget Haley Joel Osment. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Dude, and
Yeah,
a star-studded piece of shit. Cars 3 knockoff.
All right, Reeves. I'll let you get back to band practice. Thanks for
All right,
your
man.
review.
Be well, y'all.
Later. You too, brother. Be good.
There we go. We got it. Look at that. We got the review.
straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
So it's fair to say Reeves gives it a.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, me, you, him, nobody likes it. Nobody, don't even waste your time is the thing.
Yeah,
like,
don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time. If you are gonna spend some time watching some stuff this weekend, though, do yourself a favor. Deep dive some of Dougie's work.
Deep dive, Punk Rock Holocaust. It's out there. Actually, besides it all being on Trauma Now, I actually also found it on the Internet Archive, so you can watch it there too, which is awesome. I honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, Doug had told me to watch it so many times. And part of me, I think now, I'm like, oh, I'm such a fucking asshole for not watching it this whole time, because he brought it up to me so many fucking times, because he knew all the bands I liked and Warped Tour and all that shit. And now I finally watched it though, and I'm like, I wish I want to talk to him about it. Like, it's so sick.
Yeah.
And like, to be able, like, he murders Simple Plan. Like, I want to know, like, how did that happen? Bowling for Soup is in it. It's one of my favorite bands. And he murders Bowling for Soup too. And it's just like, what the fuck?
It's crazy. Again, one of the most like well connected in every community possible.
Yeah.
It's wild. Absolutely wild.
All right. Well, I don't want to end on a total downer here. So I promised Ben that I wanted to share something on air.
Yes.
It's definitely, so it's not a spoiler. People, you can't see it. Who's ever watching on YouTube, you will hear it on Spotify, or you'll hear it on YouTube too. You see my audition pulled up?
I see it. Yes.
Okay. Now I'm hoping it doesn't lag, because when I try to stream Audition, it doesn't really like it. So I'm hoping it doesn't lag. But I just want you to see this bit. Okay.
That's from my movie.
It's from your movie. So, but I want you to, this is a new sound. So it feels like a different movie,
Let's see.
All right, I'm going to play it. Hopefully it doesn't lag.
Oh, this guy's been in business.
Get ready for my special sauce.
Oh, that's all Doug's work.
Yeah, Daddy.
You just stand there looking.
Somehow we took a thing that was already desperately childish with all of these farts and everything, and we have only amplified the fart department.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I saw an opportunity, and I took it.
And take it. The other thing that I really like there too is there's a little extra splooshin with Derek and Cyrus.
Hell yeah.
I like that very, very much.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to do a total sound design that I want to, but there's definitely, I told you I wanted to make it sound like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, so there's all that. And I didn't have enough time to add a lot of the gore sounds, but at least I got all the, time with the feller sounds in there.
That's what's important. That's the rest of it is too, don't get me wrong, but like that is desperately important. And like if you're hearing this too, whenever if it's before July 19th, come to the Mahoning Theater. We're screening, we open up Traumathon this year. It's gonna be kind of a bittersweet Traumathon, but
it's gonna be weird.
I did It is, but I did read online, and since it's on Facebook and it's coming from a very reliable source, I did hear that some family and friends and whatever are some additional friends are going to be bringing the production bus out.
Oh,
So we're
wow. That's pretty
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Last time I was on that bus was the Mahoney.
yep. So same goes. So
Yeah,
uh I saw a post, and it was very public, and they were letting folks know. So
that's beautiful. I love it. Um,
it'll again very very bittersweet given this week, but what a beautiful way to remember your buddy.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Never gonna forget that dude, man. And I said, hopefully I'll have the sound done in time. I'm really hoping I am. I'm getting there. That's why I'm gonna try to end this a little early so I can get back and try to finish this in time. It's
I
tough,
thank you, man.
but it's getting there. So yeah, that's a little tease. I hope you like it to show that I'm doing work.
Love it. Are you kidding me? Everything I've seen so far. You saw my one note. Like, you saw my one note.
Yeah.
To one thing.
Yeah, and so there's not next week, man. I mean, there is a next week, but not a live next week. This is our last live show that we're doing all summer. Unfortunately, it's not the funny bit that I really wanted it, to be. But at least we're still here, Ben. I love you to death. You're one of the
Love
best
you,
people I
man.
know. Couldn't do this show without you. I mean, literally last summer, I couldn't. The show wouldn't have been a thing without you. I always say you're the
But
heart of the show, and I mean it.
but that's what we do, and that's the thing. So we do have a bunch of watch-alongs planned for everybody. And then we're gonna come back hard in September.
I already know we're
Uh,
watching. I already know we're watching.
well then, James, what's for our first show in September?
Oh, we're talking about the new Batman show, man. There's a whole new Batman animated series coming out, made by Bruce Timm on Amazon, and it's Zero Tech Batman. So it takes place in like the 30s or something, and looks amazing. Looks so good.
Oh, that's like that. What is it, like Hush or whatever? Batman. Do you know what I'm like steampunk Batman? Or
Yeah,
whatever?
kind of, but not less steampunky. Like more like really feels like there's gonna be no computers. There's some. I don't know, I'll send you the trailer. It just looks. Oh, it
Like
looks-
straight up noir,
Yeah,
detective-y.
exactly.
Yeah.
I know how much you're into noir right now, so you get some more noir in September, and I have a lot to talk
Great.
about. I'm sure.
I'll be able to watch it and be like, that's everything we got wrong. That's, and again, everybody just understand we're still going to be here every Saturday.
Yeah.
So don't forget to listen, all of that. Set whatever you set your downloads, whatever it is. Just know that we might not be here every week, but we are going to be in your ears every week.
Yes, of course. I'm still always looking at the email and the comments, so I'll be around.
I mean, it's been swamped with all the email.
Yeah, all the emails we get constantly. All right.
If you want to pile on, it's totally.toonular@gmail.com. You got a summer to email us, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, that you said watch some. Hopefully, dude, come watch cartoons with us. Literally watch it with us live. What gets more fun than hanging out on a Saturday morning watching cartoons? All right. Well, I'm gonna send this off. I did have a video. I was trying to close out the show. I got the ice cream man coming through. I don't know if you can hear. I don't know how that's. There we go. It's gone. But I found this video of Doug from the zombie crawl that I did, and to me it like personifies what makes Doug, because I remember I really wrote it in our group chat, and I wrote the sentence out. I was like, only Doug can make me write all these things in one sentence, because it's a zombie crawl. Doug climbs up a pole in a unicorn onesie and sprays everyone with blood on the streets of New York City. So yeah, I want the last voice of you guys to hear is Doug laughing and spraying people with blood. So that's how I'm going to send this off today. So peace out, everyone. Tell everyone you love them. I love all of you.
Yes.
I love you, Ben.
Love you. I love you. Are you kidding me? I love you so much, James.
You
I
got
wouldn't keep coming back.
Ah, I appreciate it. All right. Let's get out of here. Yeah.